Thank you, Halona, for nice introduction. And thank you, HTM, for having me here. Well, I was born about half a century ago. And my parents come from Baglung district on the lap of Mount Dhaulagiri in Nepal. And for about 40 years, I've been meditating now. And teaching meditation, contributing something in education and social service to many people around the world. So this afternoon, I'll not be bringing any data to you. I'll just be bringing you live experience and relating to you about what Nepal can offer in terms of spirituality. Well, when it comes to spirituality, the first thing that I remember immediately is, I don't know how many of you do recollect that December 21, 2012. How many of you recollect? It was prophesied that that is going to be doomsday. Long back. That's not very long back. It was just 7 years back. Not even 7, 6.5 years back. I think it has completely gone out of our memory. And there were so many talk shows and so many things. And I watched 12 movies on that, English movies. And you will be very happy to learn, especially the tourism fraternity will be very happy to learn that in all the 12 movies that I saw, what they were trying to show is when there is something like a doomsday, when the world is coming to an end, there are so many people who are trying to save their life. But there is only one ship. And about 300,000-400,000 people get into that ship. And you know where that ship finally goes to? Where they think, where the unconscious human memory, unconscious human minds thinks that this place probably will never sink. And this place, this is the place where people will not die. In all the 12 movies that I saw, the ships and the different other transport modes, they were transported to Nepal and Tibet. So the unconscious human mind, the world over, knows that Nepal and Tibet have something great to offer. Now, in terms of spirituality, I was trying to see how many people meditate when the Reverend Bhikkhu was talking about it. And I saw so many hands being raised up. I was so happy. I'm getting very close to you. Now, there's so many ways you can touch your spirituality. Spirituality to me is touching your inner core. When Dog Scott was talking about touching the heights, spirituality is about touching your depth. And when you touch your depth, naturally, so many things come alive to you. The whole world comes alive to you. The whole nature comes alive to you. And immediately, you start wondering what tourism is. So I think there's a very close interconnectedness between spirituality and tourism. And I'm so happy that HTM has spirituality as one of its themes. I'm so happy. And when they are portraying Nepal, gateway to Himalayas, I think that we should also talk about Nepal, gateway to your own inner heart. It could be also a gateway to your own inner heart. Now, see, tourism till date, many people, many countries, what they used is for entertainment, for fun, and for leisure. But we can use tourism to transform lives. That's what transformation Nora probably was talking about. It was a mesmerizing presentation. I really loved it. Thank you so much for that. And the Eastern concept of tourism is, getting close to nature, getting close to people, and getting close to you. And Nepal, I think, has everything to offer on that. The whole geography of this country is completely established as a body of spirituality, much like the human body. Much like the human body. If we want to explore Nepal in depth, I'm sure it's going to take dozens of years to do that in terms of spirituality. And my own experience says one must experience it, rather immerse in it, soak in it, to live in it, to realize it. So wherever you go, for example, there are few contexts that I want to relate to. For example, Pashupatinath is the lord of those who are in spiritual bondage. And then you have Kumari, the living goddess. See, where you can touch spirituality. You have Muktinath, the god who grants you salvation. And you have Buddha and Lumini, the god who exhorts you to work out your own salvation. See this contrast? And Nepal encompasses all contrasts. And there is the Chinnamasta goddess, the goddess whose head is cut off. Because head is nothing but the mind. That the incessant mind, the cluttering mind. When this mind is cut off, you're left with your pure heart, the Buddha heart, the Bodhi Chitta, to connect and to relate to. And you have the Pathivara temple, the goddess who completes you. And you have the Manakamana, the goddess who grants all your wishes. See, not only that, these are geographies, there are legends, there are stories, emotional stories to connect to. And if you listen to these stories one after another, they're so compelling. And they take you they take you to your own inner core. And you will love everything that's here. Nepal probably offers a wider kaleidoscope in terms of spirituality. Whether it may be dhyana, whether it may be yoga, it may be tantra. Each of these, for example, dhyana, even if I were to experience it for thousands and thousands of eons, not just years, I'll not be able to do it completely. From dhyana to yoga to tantra to bhakti to sankhya to Saligram Sila, the stone god, to the harps. There's so many things to explore. And what our sages did over tens of thousands of years is, not only they built these places, not only they built this emotional connection between places so that I can relate to and I own something. They also, built this into daily living. For example, the festivals, the jatras. So many things, right from the morning till evening, you have something to do in terms of spirituality. And Nepal not just saves you. If we saw so many news being covered worldwide after the earthquake, the recent earthquake, everybody was talking about how happy Nepalese people are even after the earthquake. They're so resilient. They're so resilient. You can't imagine that just 4 years back, we had a massive earthquake. And today, almost everyone has forgotten that. If I ask Nepalese people here, they might have even forgotten the dates. Even the date. It's because, the whole culture here, round the year, and the whole festivals are built around spirituality. They soak you. They absorb you. They mesmerize you. Finally, what I see is wellness tourism and spirituality tourism will bring in high-end tourists. Not just tourists. But this is one thing we must be talking about, we must be doing something, and we must really be showcasing to the entire world. There's a survey that says that wellness tourists spend 130% more than regular tourists. More than regular tourists. And 50% of wellness tourism is into yoga and dhyana that Nepal has to offer. Originally Nepal has to offer. For example, over 50% of Hindu scriptures were written in the boundary of present-day Nepal. 50%. So that's a lot to offer to the entire world, to the entire humanity. And finally, spiritual tourists, they spend more time, they spend more money. And they go back to their own places with so much of love, with so much of peace in their heart that no other form of tourism can give. It's entirely different. I think we are not just talking about spiritual tourism. I think we're talking about the entire gamut of spirituality. And what I see is, I was talking to Halona, people who started here. What I see is, when people go in for spiritual tourism, they go back with enormous love, a sense of reverence. And we can, not only that we'll have world peace, we'll also have a very good sense of ecological balance and a respect for nature. Thank you so much for listening to me. God bless you.
अध्यात्म र व्यवस्थापन मानव मनोविज्ञान सनातन र नवीनतमको संगम जीवन विज्ञान सनातन र नवीनतमको संगम जीवन विज्ञान